Welcome back to Slush versus iNcontroL. Slush now up 2-0 over the Protoss player iNcontroL, and we are on Desert Oasis, a map which, as far as player goes, I mean, Metalopolis players love that. Desert Oasis, not so much. Players actually hate this map, but I make them play on it because it makes great spectatorship. And going into this map, you can kind of see or you used to see a lot of cheese, but sometimes you see the map actually go into a create a long game. You do have iNcontroL spawning in the south is the yellow Protoss, and in the north you have the blue Zerg Slush. So talk to me a little bit about the last game, Diggity.
So last match, yeah, it was kind of back and forth. Chiefs iNcontroL, unfortunately, yeah, did not scout that top natural expansion. If he had just gone to that base instead of going for the main, he probably would have been able to take it out. Unfortunately, engaging and not accomplishing anything, getting distracted, realizing he just didn't have enough zealots to take all of those Zerglings with the two spine crawlers, trying to target the queen. Didn't even get the queen. Didn't have a natural expansion to follow it up. It's just nothing went right for him from the start to the end. This match, Desert Oasis, I gotta say, I've got to favor Slush a little bit, especially after Game 1 and Game 2. Maybe iNcontroL will be able to pull out some nice Void Ray action and try to do some harassment along those lines. I have seen that be very successful against Zerg, but iNcontroL in StarCraft 1, his Muta control wasn't the best. Let's see how that translates over to StarCraft 2 Void Ray control.
Yeah, we'll have to see exactly what both players are going to be doing on this map. Slush pretty much doing the standard stuff, making sure he gets up to 13 supply. Probably going to be seeing a pull here relatively soon from the Zerg player. And iNcontroL throwing down that gateway at his ramp, sending out that probe to scout with. So well, it's pretty much anyone's ballgame right here. Slush is going to be trying to close this out with a quick 3-0. But is he going to be able to do it? I'm not really sure. iNcontroL tried to kind of cheese a win last game, so he might just be playing a little bit more standard this game.
One thing about Desert Oasis is because the large distances between the two expansions, you can take a quick expansion. That looks like what Slush is doing right now to try to take a quick economic lead. The thing is when you have Zerglings, which are much faster, can traverse the map a lot quicker. Protoss have to play a little bit more defensively. It's a lot harder for them to take their natural expansion just in case there's a big Zergling bus running down towards their field. So it is a little bit Zerg favored in that regard, but I don't think it's anything iNcontroL isn't expecting. I do know he does not like Desert Oasis at all. This is not the map he wanted to play going into a 2-0 disadvantage. So with that pile in the upper right, I think that's where we're going to start seeing the Stargate place. I got to assume that's what he's going to go with. Let's see if he places that second gas. He is placing the second gas right there. I have to assume that's the strategy he's going to go with here into the mid game.
We do have Slush opting to take his natural expansion. Looks like that probe went over there to steal some minerals, kind of probably just go over there, scout, obviously. He's going to be sending that back in. There is a spawning pool going down as well as an extractor in the main base of Slush. We do have that cybernetics core about to finish. We'll have to see if he throws down that Stargate quickly after, as he does have 2 gas right now. He hasn't moved any probes into it, however, quite yet. He might just be waiting, unsure as to what he's going to be doing with that second gas.
Actually, it's odd to note that iNcontroL, even though he saw the natural expansion, even though he's kind of rushing tech here, as a direction, he still decided to build a Zealot to start. It looks like he's also building a Stalker to start, maybe to try to give Slush the impression he's going for a little bit more standard build. But Slush is going to come back. He's going to see these two simulators. Granted, you can do practically anything out of this as a Protoss player, but again, just the placement of it, I don't know. Maybe he's just going to try to play mind games with Slush here and try to switch it up. And I take it back. Looks like iNcontroL does have a probe the forward position. He might go for more of a ground-based army. One mistake I have seen iNcontroL make time and time again, though, is when he starts moving out with attack forces, and it looks like Slush is actually scouting with a couple Zerglings for cheese right now, is he'll tend to engage that little gap at the kind of 3 o'clock position near that natural expansion, when really you kind of got to go the entire other way around, because that little gap is absolutely devastating. You try to peek in there, and if there's any high ground units attacking down ground, you can't work it that direction. Fortunately, though, is if you can catch a large Zerg ground army right there, it is a nice bottleneck. You can win fights that way, but otherwise, I don't know. We'll see. It looks like iNcontroL is placing another gateway and also a Stargate alongside, so it doesn't look like he's going to do a 2-gate build, but he is going to do Stargate and follow it up with some ground troops.
We do have that Stargate now fully warped in. One thing to note is that iNcontroL did trap his probe that made that Stargate behind it, and did take it out with his own Stalker, possibly to remove it from either us or from Slush if Slush ever decides to get in his base. So that's just a little funny side story. We do have the natural expansion of Slush fully up and running right now.
Yeah, it looks like a probe is wandering in. He'll get a good look and try to see whether Slush is trying to macro up or if he's thinking about an attack here. And seeing all those drones, he's got to assume that Slush is just going to go for a long-term big macro win. Slush doing what he really needs to do. He needs to get another queen out there. He's already got that second queen building at his natural expansion. As soon as he has a bunch of queens out, and if he has enough energy, he actually needs to conserve energy right here. Be very careful planting those creep tumors. As long as he has energy and a bunch of queens, he'll be okay. But if he ends up spending too much energy on those creep tumors, too much on that spawn larva, he could be in trouble because Void Rays can take down queens.
We do have
right,
that.
They can.
We do have that Hydralisk done as well. A couple of Hydralisks being warped in right now. Looks like iNcontroL is up to only one Void Ray, as the other one is about 80% done. He is going to be moving this first Void Ray into position, but it might be a little bit too late, as those Hydras, or at least a couple of them, are going to be popping next to that queen. So now we're going to have to see what is going on. A pretty interesting pylon placement from there. However, I did not see that. A great wall off there from the natural expansion, and there are a lot of forces in the main right now of Slush. How much damage is the Protoss player iNcontroL going to be able to do? He lets that Zealot kind of go for a sacrifice, I guess. Didn't put too much damage into that wall off there with the, what's it called, from the Sentry. Wow, as I just forget unit names back and forth. Looks like that attack is not going to do that much, though. He did have to pull back that Void Ray, and really, iNcontroL is in a really poor situation right now.
Yeah, let's see if he can. Doesn't look like he was able to take out the queen, bringing in another Void Ray, which gets popped at the main. So trying to do a little bit of a distractionary attack. I think he just went for that a little bit too quickly, got a little bit too nervous about that pylon getting spotted, and as a result, warped in a lot of units when he just had a disadvantage. So clever attack. It doesn't look like he's getting as much out of it as he hoped to. Looks like an Overlord escaping with just 15 health. So, and now he's not in the place he wanted to be. Lost a lot of those units. Lost his Void Ray, which is a big opening right there. Now Slush has a serious economic advantage. I think he actually has a ground troop advantage as well, and he definitely has the overall economic advantage, 32 drones to 25 probes.
Yeah, we definitely see iNcontroL in a tough spot right now. Looks like he's going to move out of his main base, possibly going to be taking an expansion here. He's only got 3 warp gates right now and 1 Stargate. Looks like he's starting to save up for that natural expansion and moving a probe out into place. He does have 2 Void Rays, though, kind of poking around the map. He could possibly take out those extractors. There's really not too much to do. So there it goes, going on that extractor. He's going to be able to take those out, I think, with ease. That queen is going into position, going to be using a little bit more energy, and now he's going to be in position. That is going to fall relatively quick, as now iNcontroL does pull back. He's going to take down that extractor, and here come the Hydras. He needs to pull those back before he loses them all. Oh, that one on the top. Oh my god, only 17 HP left. That was so close. iNcontroL did pull back, though, and saved it. And now another probe is coming up here on the left. Looks like he did not take his natural expansion at all. He might be throwing down a pylon right there, and possibly going to be warping in units to try to kind of throw off Slush a little bit.
Interestingly enough, we have a Phoenix, which I guess he's going to try to Graviton Beam, maybe that queen, try to pick it off with the Void Rays when it's helpless in the air. A lot of those Hydralisks, particularly with the range upgrade, which they now have, will be able to defend pretty well against that. But yeah, another desperation attack. iNcontroL building a proxy pylon to the north of Slush's base. This is actually the direction he really wants to attack from, though. And he's going to just plop a bunch of units. I'm kind of curious how this Phoenix is going to come into play. But going for a large attack to the north, maybe try to take out that actual expansion. It looks like Slush has seen it, and a couple of Zerglings already headed up there.
We do have a creep tumor now just going down. iNcontroL is going to be able to take that out and stop creep production going out towards him. But Slush does have quite the force now, and he also does have the creep advantage right there, so he is going to be able to reinforce as much as possible. Here come the Void Rays attacking the mineral line of Slush. Slush does pull all of those back, so he's not going to lose too many. There is a queen also defending. And right now, I mean, iNcontroL might be able to take this. There's not that much of a force from Slush right now. He is going to be able to go back into the main, and there's the lift from the Phoenix, and those 2 Void Rays are going to take out that queen with ease. But here come the Hydras. They are going to make those air units fall back, and now iNcontroL might be pushing up right now.
Yeah, this is a great positional attack from iNcontroL. He stacked his units to the north, try to force the rest of the units, and basically, yeah, you can do exactly this. Run in, block off that gateway, engage with basically superior units on the ground. Looks like he was able to once again use that Phoenix to disable one of the Hydralisks on the ground, but just using the mobility of the air units to go back and force units in a position where it's not advantageous, and really do a lot of damage in the meantime. It looks like, I don't know if he's going to be able to stand up to the rest of his Hydralisk force, but he's in a pretty good position to do so with some very nice force fields. So wandering up, it looks like the rest of this army is going to get crushed, but he's done a pretty significant amount of damage in the meantime.
Yeah, that was almost an all-in attack from In Control, but as he is down now 2-0 to Slush, excuse me, it's kind of a last-ditch effort. Looks like he is going to continue to stay in this game, throwing down that robotics facility. He needs to start taking an expansion here relatively soon, though. He does have a probe going around the map, but I thought he was going to take his natural. Maybe he's going to be taking this expansion to his right, but look at the map. Here come the units streaming out of Slush's base, almost to In Control's base, and there is not too many units that In Control can actually defend with right now. He does have a sentry at his base though, so he can wall off for a little bit and last a little bit longer, but those Zerglings are going to take out that pylon with ease.
Yeah, unfortunately, In Control, even though very nice attacks, and I think he did more damage than he would have been capable of otherwise, particularly with the positioning, Slush's economy is just too strong. He's got too many units. He has too much income. In Control knows that he's going to GG right there.
Yeah, there's the GG. Slush was going to be taking that high yield expansion at the right. So Slush with a quick 3-0 over In Control. Diggity, I mean, is there anything really that we need to say anymore about this match?
Not really. I got to say it's a really tough match for Protoss versus Zerg. I feel like In Control would have been better off with just 2 Stargate opening rather than kind of doing the half Cs, 1 Stargate and then it's...
Yeah, I mean, really, that's pretty much In Control is just trying different stuff in all of those games, and Slush was just ready for it. He beautifully countered that first match on Lost Temple with that Baneling bust on the second map. He scouted kind of luckily. He knew something was up, sent those 2 Lings out. He did spot that proxy, and then threw down those spine crawlers and was able to take that out. And in the third map, he saw or at least he kind of expected some Void Rays to come, and he had Hydras up just in time. So Slush playing really well right now in the beginning of Phase 2, and we're going to be back with more matches here every day at the MLG Showcase Series, so we will see you guys then.